We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. I thought love was only true in fairy tales and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. I'm not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. You're trying to make your mark in society. You're using all the tricks that you used on me. You're reading all them high-fashion magazines. The clothes you're wearing, girl, are causing public scenes. She told me that she loved me, and like a fool I believed her from the start. Look out, here comes tomorrow. Sometime in the morning, a simple thought may occur to you, and you hold her and tell her all the things you never told her.
And joining us right now for the second time is a guy who has done everything from movies to theater to music to TV, pretty much everything, and now he's doing books as well. Mickey Dolenz, you might remember him from the Monkees, is here with us. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, you might remember that.
I was thinking maybe you might remember him from Circus Boy. I was going to say that.
Oh, I love that when people remember Circus Boy, yeah.
That was when you were about 7, 8, 10 years old or something like that?
10 years old, yeah.
Yeah, you're a youngster. You know, talking about trivia, this is great. I'm a big trivia guy. In fact, I've written my own book of trivia years ago.
Cool.
You are part of the Buzztime Trivia Series with a book called Mickey Dolenz Rock and Roll Trivia, and it's not just trivia, it's kind of a game to play.
Yeah, it's a game. It's a trivia game in book form, yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and I got to tell you, I've got every question right so far. I've done about 40 questions. I've got them all right.
Whoa!
So, but again, you know, this is not just trivia to me. It's my life. You know what I mean? When someone says,
it is. It's we tried to dig a little bit deeper than just the kind of stuff you could find on the internet, and you know, so that it would be entertaining and informative. And I also wrote some essays to kind of personalize it. I wrote one about my experiences in England with the Beatles, and I wrote another one about my good friend Harry Nilsson, the singer-songwriter, and
of course you did the Point.
And I did the Point, yeah. I did Harry's Point in London, yeah. Well, he was a very dear friend.
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting when you read all this stuff, because all these things kind of bubble. When I'm listening to the radio and I hear, for instance, Winchester Cathedral, immediately New Vaudeville Being comes into my mind, but I also remember the song that dethroned that song from the #1 spot on the charts. Because it was a little-known group that did a Neil Diamond song. A group called the Monkees. It was a song called "I'm a Believer."
Oh my gosh, yeah,
that just knocked that song off. The Monkees had, and I am one of those people. When I was 12 and 13 years old, I was out there buying Monkees albums. All my money that I got for allowances went to buy the original Monkees album, more of the Monkees, and Headquarters and Aquarius. I went I bought them all. Every one of the ones that ever came out. And for people out there who aren't in my age group, or even that are maybe and have lost their albums, it's great to see that Rhino is releasing those albums and really an enhanced version of them, actually.
Yes, I've heard. I must admit, I was not consulted. I don't think any of us were, but that's not uncommon for record companies to re-release stuff. But if it's been in keeping with the quality of their other re-releases and stuff, it should be very, very good, because they've done a great job over the last few years. They bought the catalog from another record company quite a while ago, and they've done a great job, I think, of keeping up the quality and repackaging, and you know, I've been very pleased with what I've seen that they've done over the years.
I think it's fascinating when I look at they have the Monkey Season 1 and Season 2 on DVD and boxes. Have you seen those?
Yes. Yeah, very nice package.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Yeah, very, very nice package. Yeah.
And folks out there who never saw the show, I mean, really, it takes you back in time. I don't know. You guys look like you were having just such a fun time during the time, but I guess it was still work, whether it looked like fun or not.
Well, it was. It was both. I mean, it certainly was a lot of work. We had to film the TV show 10, 12 hours a day sometimes, and then go into the studio and record the vocals and the songs at night. And I remember distinctly going in after working 10 hours on the TV set, going in and doing 2 or 3 lead vocals a night.
Mm.
And one take kind of stuff. It was like 4-track tape recorder, and just kind of pull the trigger and go. It was so it was a lot of work. I mean, we were young, of course, so that helped. But it was pretty intense, I must admit.
Did you have any problems with your throat in terms of nodules or anything like that?
No, thank God, touch wood. I've, I don't know, maybe genetics mostly has had the most thing to do with it. I never smoked, which I think probably helped.
Absolutely.
And I say I was young, and so, you recover. And I haven't, had any major problems. I sing all the Monkey songs in the original key when I go out and do my solo shows, all the original keys. And over the years, I've also learned how to train my voice. In fact, a few years ago, I started doing musical theater, and that was great because it did give me a lot of training in that area. And I'm doing a musical right now. I'm doing a revival of Pippin, the famous musical from the 70s. I'm here actually on the East Coast doing it, and then we're doing a national tour.
And we should mention it's at the Goodspeed Opera House in East Haddam, Connecticut.
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Through September 24th. Right?
Yeah.
It runs through September 24th, and folks who want tickets, they can go to goodspeed.org.
Yeah, and on my website, mickeydolenz.com, if you want to check it out. And also you can check out the books that I have out.
Yeah, well, we should. We talked about the trivia book for a second, but now I don't have the copy of the children's book. But tell us a little bit about Georgie 2 Feet.
Oh well, thanks. It's a children's book. It's called Georgie 2 Feet, and it's about this little creature who's he's different from everybody else, and it's sort of a little morality tale that hopefully for kids to say, because there's so many different cultures and so many cross cultures these days that kids can feel they can feel out of it if they're different from their friends, and so it's really a little morality tale that just tells kids it's okay to be different, and it's okay that if you are different, because that difference could really turn out to be an advantage one day.
Mm.
And that's kind of what the story is about. And it's called Georgie 2 Feet. You can check that out on the website too.
And again, I know it's available at Amazon.com. Is MickeyDolenz.com?
Amazon.com, yeah.
Yeah, is MickeyDolenz.com also selling these things as well?
No, just linked to Amazon, actually.
Oh, okay. Because you want to get some money out of these things if you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a good thing.
I've tried to do that stuff. I just don't have the time. I'm too busy doing other stuff,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how you can do a play until September 24th, but yet still tour. I know you.
Well, I've had to cut back on the touring this summer. I'm only doing a few select dates. I just got back from Pennsylvania doing one. I'm going to Palm Springs this weekend.
I want to actually mention these because we're all over the country. So let's tell folks that if you're in Palm Springs, California on August 5th, you can see them at the Spa Resort Casino. On September 16th at Franklin Park, Illinois, at the Railroad Days. The 23rd of September, you're going to be in Henderson, Nevada at the Henderson Events Plaza. And on New Year's Eve, it looks like, New Year's Eve day anyway, Lakeside, California, Barona Valley Ranch Resort. Is that a New Year's Eve concert?
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Now,
and then I open in Pippin in Costa Mesa the next day.
Wow, you're really a very, very busy man.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I wanted to mention again because I was talking about those new editions because I really love the Monkees and More of the Monkees. Those are 2 amazing albums. But I understand that what they're going to do is release them as double disc sets and feature the stereo and mono versions of each one remastered with 17 bonus tracks. So it's going to be an amazing thing. Now, I'm sure you've seen their package of the Monkees' greatest hits that's out. And that's a pretty nice one, too, because it has a lot of the ones that I like. The only one that's not on there that I really love is When Love Comes Knocking at Your Door.
Oh, it's not on there?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
No,
I don't
wow,
think so.
that's a great tune.
It is a great tune, and so is Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow and Sometime in the Morning. Some of the ones that weren't singles, but they were album cuts, they were really good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We recorded so much stuff. I mean, it's, jeez. And it's nice to hear some of that stuff being put out, you know.
Well, Sometime in the Morning was a Carole
And they're great
King song.
writers, you know. I mean, when you have songwriters like Carole King
Right.
and Neil Diamond and all these people, it's tough to go wrong.
And, of course, Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart.
Oh, I'm sorry, of course, Boyce and Hart and Carol Bayer Sager and Diane Hildebrand and Neil Sedaka and Paul Williams and Harry Nilsson. And, you know, when you have songs written by those kind of quality of songwriter, it's hard to go wrong.
Yeah, it is just amazing. And folks out there who have never seen the Monkees TV show, you got to grab these season 1 and season 2 sets over in Rhino. The box sets, they're really amazing, actually. And there's a lot of commentary on them. I noticed that you did commentary on some of the episodes as well.
Yeah.
So at least you were involved in that. But I'm surprised they didn't involve you guys in the release of the CDs.
No, they didn't. It's not uncommon, you know. Record companies repackage stuff, and but like I said, I've been very pleased with the Rhino. You know, the quality of the repackaging and the quality of their merchandise and everything. So I'm sure it'll be absolutely wonderful.
Now the tour that you're going on, is this you on your own?
Well, I'm touring with Pippin, the national tour of Pippin. We're going out until the end of the year. After we close here at the Goodspeed Opera House, we go on the national tour, and we're playing Toronto and Michigan and California and you know, a number of weeks on the road. The solo touring I do is just myself and my band and my sister. I take my sister Coco and we go out and I do a rock and roll show, and of course I do all the Monkey hits, you know, in their entirety, no medleys or anything, and then I also go back and sing some songs that meant something to me in my life or influenced me, or for instance I tell the story of going to one of the Beatles sessions for Sgt. Pepper, and I tell that story, and then I sing the song that I heard when I was at the session, which was Good Morning, Good Morning.
Those kind of times must be the kinds that you really just cherish.
Oh yeah.
Because especially with some of the people who are gone now that that were involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that always. And talking about, let's talk about the Monkees for a minute. How frequently are you in touch with the other guys, and are there any tours planned with the whole group?
No, there is nothing toured right now. I'm unavailable, you know, for the rest of the year.
Right.
We went out together a few years ago. There's nothing in the works right now. You know, I don't, you know, we don't speak on a regular basis. I saw Peter a couple of months ago in New Jersey. I did a solo concert there, and he came by and actually got up and did a couple of songs, and it was good seeing him. Well, it's not a constant, you know, constant communication, but there also isn't a kind of Monkey office or a Monkey kind of, you know, organization. There never really was, you know, except when the television show was on the air. So it's always been a case of us, you know, either kind of just falling together, you know, or somebody calling all of us up and saying, hey, you guys want to go out and do this or that, you know.
Yeah, the last time you guys had that huge tour was when the Monkees came on TV the first time. And I also remember the album that came out and the song That Was Then, This Was Now, which I thought was a great tune, by the way.
Yeah, it was a good tune. Vince Brescia wrote that. Yeah, I do that in my show. It is a great tune.
Yeah, and it had a lot of meaning for folks like myself who were big fans of the Monkees. And
yeah, right.
Times do change, but one of the things that just shocked me when I was looking at the material from Rhino, 40 years ago,
yeah.
it doesn't seem like it, does it?
No. No, it certainly doesn't.
I mean, really, I just remember being a 12-year-old kid listening to this stuff, and it's hard to believe 40 years have passed, and if I'm feeling like that, I can imagine how you feel at this point.
You know, it obviously doesn't feel like 40 years, but then again, I've kept pretty busy, you know. From my perspective, of course, the Monkees was actually a very, very brief period of my life, a brief episode of my life. You know, in fact, I was doing a musical a couple of years ago, the Elton John musical Aida. I was doing that on Broadway, and I'd done it on the road for the best part of a year, and then I was on Broadway for the best part of a year. And I was sitting in my dressing room one day, and I was adding up all the performances I'd done and how long I'd worked on Aida. And it turned out I worked on Aida longer than I worked on the Monkees.
Wow. but the Monkees is enduring, though, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? 40 years later.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it certainly is. And I mean, like I say, I think the songwriters had a lot to do with it. I think the people on the television show, of course, the writers, the director, the producers, everybody, and of course us, had something to do with it. And you just catch lightning in a bottle. You really can't explain. You can't really deconstruct it and figure out exactly why. There's no formula.
Exactly. In fact, you know there's no formula because here you guys all got together and the chemistry was perfect. The show did incredible. And then they tried to do that new Monkees thing, which fell flat on its face because you can't recreate something that is so spontaneous like that.
No, you can't. You can't.
And it's interesting that they tried. I have a feeling. Here's my prediction here, that because of all the stuff, the 40th anniversary is coming out with all the stuff from Rhino, that there may be some kind of tour coming up in some time when you're available and some of the other guys are. But the last time you guys toured, Mike never really joined it, so here and there. What was the reason for his staying out of that whole thing?
You'd have to ask him that. I just think that it wasn't any interest to him. He just wanted to establish himself as a solo artist, and I guess and I guess he felt that in order to do that, he had to only perform as a solo artist rather than as a member of a group. But you would have to ask him that, to be honest.
I'll have to wait. I'll have to wait, Mickey, for the reunion of the First National Band, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Well, again, Mickey Dolenz has the book is called Mickey Dolenz Rock and Roll Trivia. It's part of the Buzztime Trivia series, and it's available from Square One Publishers and available on Amazon.com. The Monkees Season 1, Season 2 are on DVD from Rhino, as is the new Monkees first album and the More of the Monkees, as well as the book Georgie 2 Feet, which is available on Amazon.com, and it was illustrated by David Clark. We should give him a credit too as well.
Oh, wonderful illustrator, really marvelous. Yeah. And if you get a chance, come down to the old Goodspeed Opera House here and check out Pippin.
And again, folks can get your touring schedule on MickeyDolenz.com as well, or listen to this interview again, and you'll hear it again. Anything else in the future planned? Books? Anything else that you're working on?
Oh, well, I always have a lot of irons in the fire. I have a film and television production company in L.A. that I'm, developing shows. So there's nothing. This musical Pippin. I'm here now for, like I say, for the rest of the year. So I've kind of cut back on some of the other activities because I'm really focusing on doing this this play. But just watch the website, and you never know what's going to come up. And it surprises me sometimes.
Well, I'm sure that when something new comes up, we'll have you on the show again and let folks know what's going on. Take care of yourself, Mickey.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye now.